So I thought it might be fun to make a little video documentary on this patio extension. Also, it might be good if something goes wrong to be able to go back and look and see what happened. Anyhow, we're extending this patio about 3.5 feet out, and then just the length of the patio to match up with the awning. And I'm about to break ground on it. This is not 100% square, but right now that's okay because I'm actually going to dig out some anyway to make sure we have room to put the boards and everything. So this is just to kind of give me like a guide, and then we'll make sure everything's good and square whenever we get all this stuff dug out and start putting the forms in to pour the concrete. So yeah, good luck. Okay, so I have removed all the grass, and I forgot originally to remove the gutter, so I had to do that like in the middle of my digging. But anyway, so all the grass is gone, and now I'm just gonna start digging around, trying to make it about 4 inches deep. I put all the grass down here to hopefully help with some of the erosion from this runoff from the gutter and all. So I put grass there, grass there. I actually had a lot more grass than I thought I was going to have. I had enough to put down there on that end and all too. So on to the next step. All right, so this is our stopping point for day one. I gotta start getting ready for work here in a minute. Basically, we got a lot of, really the only thing we really did today was got a lot of dirt removed. So what we really need is for all this crap here to dry up. You can see there's water. We've had to use the water hose to wash the tools off and all, but this is really wet, and this mucky clay is so hard to work with whenever it's wet. So hopefully, we'll see how it goes. Might get some drying out time today. I don't know if the sun's even going to come out, but tomorrow I'm going to remove some more dirt, and then we need to start working on this line here because it needs to be at a 90-degree angle, not sloped down, because we need to be able to put the form like right in there straight, nice and straight. So that'll be tomorrow's goal. And like I said, hopefully some of this will dry up at least a little bit. Maybe some of this up here, well, at least, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, so that's where we're at the end of day one. Oh, and we got a lot of this, use this dirt, extra dirt we had to fill in a lot of these areas that were, starting to wash away, and got all that down there. Got a lot of dirt in there. So, got some other things done too with that. See you in the morning. Okay, so this is the end of day two. Day two was kind of a short day because actually all we ended up doing was basically just digging out a good bit more dirt from here and kind of packing it down some. And then we went ahead and cut the wire mesh, which you can see over there. We're going to use to put in the stuff. And really now we're just waiting on the form wood to come so that we can put the stakes in and get everything good and straight and square. And then we'll we actually dug out a little bit too much dirt, got like a little bit overzealous, so we have some dirt here to add back once we get the forms put in to make sure that it's all like around 5 inches level. So probably won't do anything tomorrow, and then the stuff's supposed to be delivered, and then we'll go ahead and get right back into it on Thursday morning. All right, we're about to start day 3. We've got a lot of concrete, and we got our forms here also. Okay, so now we're in the backyard. Everything is settled down, pretty much over the last day or so. Luckily, things have dried out a good bit, which is great. And so we have our wood for our forms, and we're going to go ahead and build the form and then fill this back in a little bit with dirt, dig our ditch, probably go ahead and pour the gravel today and everything. So okay, so we finally have the form made. Yay. And this was probably the most annoying part and the only part so far that we've really had like a lot of struggles with. But, once we finally figured out exactly how to lay it and we got everything measured and we have a whole bunch of stakes in it, you know, everything's good and square. Should be good to go. So the problem was we cut this board a little short inadvertently, so we weren't able to put it the way we wanted. So I sort of screwed another little tiny piece of wood to the end of it and fixed it. But then the way we did this, if you're watching this, is we screwed this in with one screw, screwed that in with one screw, made sure that was level with this, made sure this was level with that, and then we just met them in the middle, like right there, and then screwed them together. So that way we knew this was level, and then that was level with this part, and then we just tied them right in there in the middle. And then we're able just to go back and put in some stakes, and well, actually then we put that stake in to make sure the rest was level, and then we pretty much leveled out. We figured out the top of the patio, I think, is a little bit unlevel because it has this big crack in it, and I think that's made this part slope down a little bit. But anyway, for the most part, it's very level. And the next thing we're gonna do is start packing in the dirt, because we have, so another tip if you're doing this ever is that here you've got, there's just too much room underneath here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like the concrete would obviously run like underneath here. So we gotta fill in this ditch here basically and level everything out again. So I'll take a video. I wanted to take one more video here. So we cut off the stakes off the top of the forms to make that easier and laid down gravel. So it turns out it's probably about 5 inches, I think. In some places, like there's some places we're gonna have to fill in like a little bit more concrete, like over here in this corner. It's like a little deeper, but it'll fill in and all. But so next plan is tomorrow we're gonna put together our concrete mixer. We've taken a whole day for it because from what I understand, it can be a whole chore with that particular kind of mixers. We're gonna put that together. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, so we're gonna pour the concrete and give it a few days and then see where we go. So I probably won't take a video in the morning. I'll just take a video whenever we have assembled the concrete mixer tomorrow. All right, well, it's pouring day. We got started a little bit late. It's around 10 o'clock, I think, but you know, that might allow this to set up a little faster since it's a little warmer. But yeah, I brought all the concrete bags around. 14 trips later, got everything set up and about to make it happen. We got our wire mesh here. And yeah, I guess we'll see you on the other side. Okay, welcome to Let's Pour Concrete Slab with Joseph Chandler. So this is the first bag of concrete going in. We've already mixed the water. And you're just gonna see how it goes. Turn this thing off. This is a bag here that was actually already ripped open. So we're gonna start with it. Looks like it's smoking. That's one 80-pound bag. I think I'm just gonna start with this one bag because I've never done this before. I'm gonna get my fan a little bit closer to keep that. I'm trying to stay upwind of the concrete dust. That way I don't have to wear a mask. All right. Well. Okay, so we decided we're going to add a little water and then cut it on. Actually, that was my wonderful wife's idea. I'm not going to pour all this in here, but like I said, this bag was already ripped open a little bit. I'm going to pour like most of it in here. have a big problem. The concrete on the bottom is not mixing. It's very hard and solid. You can see over here, we only have one bag, and that's probably drying as we speak. So, anyway, I just wanted to record when the disaster started. We're still not sure how to fix the fact that the concrete on the bottom is not really mixing in with the other part of the concrete. I've been using this tool to try and get it, but I don't know what to do about that. Okay, so we've mixed up a crap ton of concrete. We just have 3 bags here left. Here's what we got, and now we're about to do our little screeding. We think we might have mixed it a little dry, but I mean, everything I read online said it being too wet was the problem, not being too dry, so hopefully we'll be okay. Bad thing is the sun's about to hit this spot right here, as you can see, so it's gonna start drying out pretty quick, so see you later. Poured the concrete, and now the master is at work with her very crafty skills. Look at the technique that she uses to smooth this out. And Daddy has just been cleaning up the items because that's what I'm good at. And then hopefully about the time she's done with this, we'll bring the kids out. We're gonna slap our handprints in here and you know, see how it goes. But it's poured. Okay, so the patio is officially laid. Excuse me, young man. Let's just take a quick shot of it here. I mean, I would say that the craziest part was mixing the concrete. It was much more difficult than I thought. I would say the most difficult part of that was heaving those big 80-pound bags up into the mixer. And then I tried to do a video, part of it, showing like how the concrete was like kind of sitting dry at the bottom. And anyway, I kind of figured out, put a little bit of concrete in there, get it pretty wet, and then add more dry concrete. So basically, like put maybe like half a bag in, wet it where it's kind of sloppy, and then turn this back up like this, then add like another, say, half a bag in there. Well, you know, the rest of that bag. And then you kind of bring it down like this, let it, well, maybe not quite that far, like about like this, and let it just flop around in there real sloppy. It does a pretty good job of mixing up, and it keeps it off the bottom. But if you just dump dry concrete in there and then put your water in, that doesn't work. You end up with like dry concrete stuck on the bottom, and it's just pretty crazy and insane. So hopefully that tip helps somebody who's trying to maybe do something like this someday. Anyhow, all right, well, so now what we're about to do is, because my wife and I want to put our kids' handprints in here, we're waiting on the sheen to come off the top of this, which is what the directions say. Once that top layer of water kind of comes off, you can see it's kind of shiny, then you can put your handprints or whatever. And then I'm going to spray to cure it. Instead of doing water curing over several days, I'm going to use this concrete cure and seal from Quikrete. Supposedly it has really good reviews. I just shook it up really good because some people were saying that, you know, it can set over time. So I shook it up really good. I put it in a sprayer, and we'll see how it goes. So, you know, overall, man, I think we didn't do an edge, honestly, because I don't have an edging tool, but I think that's probably going to be okay. It's not a huge deal. One thing we were curious about is like, what's going to happen whenever we screed it and saw it back and forth and back and forth. And so what happens is you do end up with a lot of concrete, like rolled up like a Tootsie Roll. So you have to kind of just keep raking it back out of your way, raking it back out of the way. And it's going to fall on the ground right here. It's going to get up on your patio. But the secret is, this is what I wish I would have knew before I started this, is like once it rakes off on the ground here, it's almost like a powder. I mean, it's not hard to pick up. It was real easy to pick up and move. Same thing for the patio. I was thinking like, oh man, this is getting on the other patio. But really, you know, it came right off. Like I was able just to dust it off with a broom. So that wasn't near as big a deal as I was like kind of concerned that it was gonna be.
Now, some things, like I expect this right here is probably going to crack. It's just laid up on the other. I mean, I don't think that's going to work out. But, I mean, again, so I would say all in all, and I got to really figure up the cost. I'll figure up the cost and take a final video in a few days once it's completely dried. But I would say probably based on just my idea, this probably costs about $700 maybe. But I'm hopefully going to be able to sell this mixer. We actually ended up with, so this took 23 bags of concrete, 23 80-pound bags of concrete. This is about 43 inches by 10 inches by about 5 inches deep. But hopefully I'll be able to sell that, return 5 bags of concrete. I'm probably going to keep the wheelbarrow because we've always kind of needed a wheelbarrow for different things. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and sign off for now then, and I'll just come back and take that final video in a few days when it's completely dry, and we'll see how it looks. Take the forms off. I might take a video the day we take the forms off to see what that's going to be like. So anyway, thanks for watching so far, and we'll touch base in a couple. All right, so it's been about, let's see, we finished the patio, we finished this on I think Saturdays. It's been about 6 days. This form came up, I mean, just absolutely flawlessly. Didn't have any issues pulling or anything. I don't know. The only thing I don't know about for sure is, you know, I mean, I'm looking at this stuff here, and I mean, I don't know, this worries me. I mean, you know, I don't know what concrete's supposed to look like, but I worry about this and like kind of how it's got like these. Now, maybe it doesn't have that in the middle, you know, maybe that doesn't go all the way through. Maybe that's just the edges, but I don't know what that means for the future. You know, does that mean that maybe this will crack as time goes on the edges real bad because there's like little air pockets or something? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we got the form up, or the forms off, you know, without any problem. I'll go ahead and put some dirt on there and kind of get everything packed in and real good. And then I'm gonna take some pictures later on with the patio once it's all finished up with we have some things we're doing here, so take some pictures of that. Okay, well, we're all done with the Chandler patio remodeling. So we'll take a quick just look at this. Basically, you know, we have expanded our patio a few feet on this side. Got a handy little swing here, a little glider, you know, some flowers. And my wife put up some pretty cool LED lights. And yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a great entertainment area. We just put in a new gas fire pit. And so this, which also doubles as a table. We got rid of the old glass patio table. Yeah, man, I think overall we'll put in a rain chain, which is a really neat feature here. So I think overall we're pretty happy with this. You know, the patio poured, you know, turned out about like we wanted. This little area right here is a little lower, so I think water might collect there, but it's not a huge deal, especially I guess considering we did it ourselves. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I think we can say this is a job well done.